Is it all about to kick off at West Ham because the vote of no confidence issued by the supporters groups to the board has been responded to, and it hasn't been responded to in any kind? But we'll get into that in just a minute, because are you the final one standing? Well, I was the final one standing in our group, and I'm still in for a £500,000 jackpot. There's new games every week, of course, but there's a massive news because during this international break, there's a massive jackpot coming up for the next round of things. And the good news is, if you forgot to sign up or you've already been knocked out, everyone can participate. It doesn't even matter whether you're still in the £500,000 jackpot. All you got to do is click the link in the description or click the QR code up there to participate, and we can all go back into the final man standing this weekend. Listen, it's a game of good wits, but as I said, it doesn't matter. If you're already still in the jackpot, you can still click the link in the description down below for the 200k jackpot. Terms and conditions do apply. You must be a UK or Irish citizen to compete in the game. Over 18, of course, and terms and conditions are in the link in the description down below. Go and check it out. The final one standing, you can be in for a chance of a 200k jackpot. So there we go. So go and click into that and join our league again. The board have responded to the letter of no confidence from the supporters groups, which, if you didn't know, read like this: to the shareholding directors of West Ham United Football Club, it is with great regret that we feel we need to write to you on behalf of the 25,000 more dedicated West Ham supporters that we, the FAB members, directly represent. 25,000, that's a good number. We now have no choice but to issue a vote with no confidence in relation to the board's management of the club. Just 2 years after winning the European trophy and selling our best player, who had been with us since he was 14, for £105 million, to hear claims of financial distress a year after the last account says there was no PSR issues on the horizon, seeing an aging, uncompetitive squad, inadequate scouting infrastructure, and derided for training facilities, is simply unacceptable. And and in the supporters' eyes, the the evidence of sustained failure on behalf of the executive management. You have seen over the recent supporter run survey completed by over 9,000 hammers and run by totally independent sources, including the FSA. It is a damning indictment of the club, and in particular stadium, which, far from being viewed as world class, it is the most criticised ground in the country, and home to a match day experience regularly subject to negative chanting from away fans. He told us that a move to the London Stadium would take us to the next level. The reality is our commercial revenues are now dwarfed by supposed rivals. Supporters find themselves casting envious glances at the likes of Bournemouth, Brighton, Brentford and Crystal Palace, all of whom outperform West Ham United both on and off the pitch. Now, there is a bit more to that letter, but in hindsight, that is the main cox of it. So apparently, a top source has replied, and I've got it written down here. A spokesman said that they will not comment on the planned protest. If you didn't know, there's planned protest for Crystal Palace to start this protest against getting the ball out. But the spokesman said they will not comment regarding the protests, but they do say we don't think they help the club or provide solutions. Now that is exactly, I think, is the state of football at the moment, because let me put this to you, David Sullivan, Karen Brady. What solutions have you provided for us? What solutions have you found for us for our criticism of the stadium, for our criticism of the squad, for the criticism of the lies we were told, for the let me go through some of it. Stadium promises, which you put down a little while back. A world-class team for a world-class stadium. Neither is true. That we will be competitive. We'll be able to compete with the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal. Bayern Munich was mentioned in there for some fucking reason. I think that was just the team at the time. Barcelona for transfers, etc. None of that's true. In fact, we had to sell players to make PSR, which, of course, you said last year there was none. Karen Brady called for unity quite recently, saying the clubs that do well are the ones that stick together. Now, that is all well and good saying that you know the clubs that do well were the ones that stick together. Until it's the other way around and the club has to stick by its people, because I've seen multiple cases of the club actually turning their back on their fans and forcing their fans out and quite frankly stitching their fans up when it comes to getting them out of the football club and not welcoming them back. So it's funny that they should say that you know the clubs that do well are the ones that stick together, and to say we don't think the club we don't think they help the club or provide the solutions. I think the solution is pretty clear, mate. They want you to fuck off. They want you to run quite far away. They want you to leave the football club and not come back. Um, but apparently, the club have said they will meet with fans um, uh, for solutions. As I said, there's protests planned for Palace, and a spokesman said they will not comment on that. So, what solutions have they offered? Yeah, as I said before, I think the solution to the problem is quite damning, to be quite honest. They want you to go. They want you to go, and they don't want you to come back. So, um, that spokesman, I don't know who the spokesman is, but that spokesman is just, I think he's just caused a world of trouble right there by saying something like that. They don't think they help the club or provide solutions. If it wasn't for the supporters or supporters groups, there would be no club. Now, these are meant to be the people that they are liaising with to try and create a better atmosphere for the club. And it's quite clear that, you know, as soon as they're put under a little bit of pressure, they want nothing to do with it. I remember being part of a group back in the day of what they call I hate this word, but what they call influencers and social media people that they called in to help the stadium. Now, obviously, I'm a West Ham fan, and I'm a West Ham fan all my life, and I went for you know for the fact that you know, I wanted to try and help the club, especially seeing as when we first left Upton Park and to try and make the stadium because it was a shithole. It still is a shithole. It always will be a shithole. There's nothing that can help that place. And they asked us for solutions, right? Fuck knows what they was asking us. You know, I don't know why they was asking us because I'm going to be honest with you. Apart from me and Ryan that went in there quite you know, passionate about it. There was people there that just wanted to, you know, a video opportunity, which was a bit of a joke. No idea what they were asking us to go in there and do that. We suggested a few things, and they laughed us at. Well, the fans laughed us at the stadium, which was, you know, fair enough, I suppose. But you know, we tried our best, and as I said at the time, I will never do anything to try and help. You know, at least help them, the board, trying to appease the fans ever again because what I got for it was a load of ridicule for myself, and the club got ridiculed for it. But they should be embracing these supporters groups. These supporters groups are the heartblood of the community of the football club, and the fact that they're so distant at the moment from that, and that you know they. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is they don't do themselves any fucking favors. To be quite honest with you, saying things like that is just going to infuriate. It's just going to ignite ignite the situation and put it into the next level, into the next stratosphere in terms of how much trouble it's going to cause. Um, Embrace them, man. You know, unfortunately, and I'm not the only one who's going to think this. This regime will never get it because they want support, they want backing, they want your money, they want you to sell you all the fucking toot in the shop. Yeah. But as soon as it comes to listening to what you are good, what you are happy about and what you want to see, they turn their back on it and say, you don't fucking know what you want. Hypocritical, horrible, bad football owners, you know, that have lied through their back teeth to get what they want. And now people are calling them out on their bullshit. They put statements out like that. But tell me what you think. Am I being unrealistic? You know, are they being unrealistic? Let us know in the comment section down below. But don't forget, again, William Hill app is in the description down below for the final one standing at £200,000 jackpot. Terms and conditions apply. Over 18s, UK and Ireland residents only. And please gamble responsibly. Thank you very much. One thing left for me to say. I'm on your irons.